Hi, you're watching The Tattooed Psychic. I am The Tattooed Psychic. I haven't been making videos or podcasts because I got a little sick. Got a little bit of a sore throat, and then I just was in bed for days, and now I am better. Feeling a little better. And then last night, I had some crazy dreams, and a lot of people on the other side came and woke me up this morning. It was very interesting. And then I thought, well, I'm going to make a quick video, see what Spirit has to say. We just had a really cool, powerful full moon, and Sagittarius full moon, I believe. Coffee, and sorry, I had to drink a cup of coffee. It's early in the morning here in the great Pacific Northwest, and the Wheel of Fortune just came out. Fortune's Wheel. Luck and right timing. Something big is about to happen for some of you and me. We've gotten that card all month, honestly. It just shows up. And this card does too. Facing fear. Some of us are still facing fear. You know, it's interesting because, like I was telling people, I do the for the past 8 months, I've been working really solid on my healing the subconscious and healing the cellular things. And what I've noticed is they say that you'll self-sabotage and go back into the old self because that's what the body's used to. And I found myself doing that. And perhaps that's why I got sick and a sore throat. Who knows? But I found myself self-sabotaging and catching myself thinking these thoughts of who I used to be, you know, like all these horrible things happened to me, and I was just in this numb state of being for so long. And when you reprogram, look, I even have the death card. Got these little tarot stickers for art, and the death card fell out this morning. And that just means the old self is, you know, we're all changing. Hopefully, my point is this. Hopefully we're all changing, and in that change we're going to still have obstacles, no matter how great we feel about the change, right? No matter how much healing, there's always going to be obstacles in life. That's what keeps us growing. And excuse me, my throat's still a little sore. I've always said I don't really trust people who are happy all the time, who say they walk in spiritual bliss 24/7. I understand being aware of spiritual bliss 24/7, but in this world you can't walk in it 24/7, especially if you're an empath, because you feel things. And especially when you're shining your light, people are going to try to take your light out. So you have to face these things. Oh my God, this card just flew out. Look at that. White Eagle. And here we go. If you know about White Eagle is, to me, one of the most powerful guides, because I've had White Eagle in my life for a long time, since I can remember, honestly. And White Eagle is, I think Rosemary Altea too had White Eagle. But White Eagle is very powerful in remembering our ancestor spirit, meaning that a lot of us don't have, how do I word it, spirit? People think because they might not know their great-grandfather or never met them, that they should just forget about them and they don't have any power, when really they do. Our ancestors, we have their DNA. We have their DNA is inside of us, so they are a part of us all the time. And White Eagle helps us remember that power. You know, like my ancestors, from what I know, right, the little part I know about my ancestry, because my family is so hidden about everything, is on my mother's side, they were in prison camps, and of course that's going to affect our DNA and cellular structure. There was actually a scientist, a therapist a German therapist who did studies on the children of the Holocaust, and I went into Sedona one time and did a healing where they healed that part of my cellular damage. It was quite interesting. Anyway, White Eagle appears to us. Sorry, I have to drink some more. I'm so sorry. But White Eagle appears to us to remind us to use our ancestors when we're struggling, when we're falling behind, that we have to use our ancestors. Look at my dog. If you're watching YouTube, you can see my dog. Like, she's so precious. Anyway, yeah. So basically, I guess what's going on right now, and I've been going through it too, is I guess I needed to slow down, so my body said we're going to rest. And sometimes our bodies need to do that. Sometimes our bodies just need to rest. And sometimes we need to take time to heal and figure out our next step and figure out what we're going to do. So I'm starting to book guests again. I just got to figure out my microphone system, and I'll get that all fixed. But I don't know about you guys, but I've been in real hermit mode, and I've been okay with it. I got a new bed frame, I got a new TV, and I just kind of binge watched The Ultimatum, Queer Love. Oh my God, those women. Anyway, and I binge watched that, and then I binge watched Alone. How those people survive out there, I don't know. I couldn't do it, and I know many of you couldn't either. It's so brave to go out there and do that. So that's what I did. And when I hermit, sometimes that's what I do. And I also spent time with my daughter. And yeah. And so if you're in hermit mode, that doesn't mean you failed, right? I want to talk about hermit mode because I think that people think when they fall back into that, oh, I want to isolate, when they come out of a, look at the dog, so cute, when they come out of the, I'm a spiritual high, and you know, wow, I had this epiphany about all these things, I'm really getting spirit, and then you go down into the old self, and you realize that you're tired, and you need to rest, and you have to realize that's part of the cycle. Many healers will tell you that many of us will just hermit for a while, and then we get our juice back up, and we're like, okay, now I'm ready again. And I had to catch my snarky self. You know, I'm a very sarcastic woman. I was raised by gay men in the 80s who told me to have no fear, and especially my friend David Patterson, who unfortunately has passed, but he was very sarcastic and very snarky, but funny, you know. It's meant to be humor, not to hurt. And I've been having to watch that a little bit because my humor, I've realized, is rather dark in this new self-awareness. But I think it's funny. So, and I'm not going to change. I'm not going to, stop doing it because people might not get it. But I am aware of it and know when to use it. Okay, and so we have also these cards. Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. And I've been saying that a lot. I've been posting it on Facebook too, is we got to start trusting our inner voices more in our guts. If you, like yesterday I made a post saying the energy is weird out there. I went to Trader Joe's, I did some grocery shopping, went and washed my car, and the energy was just not with me, and my spirit told me, my guts told me to go home and stay home, and so I did, to avoid any kind of accident or whatever. The full moon was just very powerful, and we have to be aware of that. And so being aware and trusting your guts right now is really important. If you're unhappy in a situation, whether it be in a lover relationship, a friendship, a work relationship, work itself, whatever, if you're not happy spiritually, figure out these things, how to fix it, because everything can be fixed. Everything can change. You just have to change it, right? Everything in your life can change. You just have to change it. And some of you are waiting for other people to change it, but I'm here to tell you that they never will show up, because other people are not meant, thank you Spirit, are not meant to change your life, only you. Look at this, jeweled web. Connectivity. So it's time to create that web. And when in spirit, when we see spiders and stuff, we know it's time to recreate a web. We'll make this beautiful, intricate space for us to create, if that makes sense. If you look at spider webs, man, they are so amazing, aren't they? I love spiders. I never kill spiders. I think they're fascinating, and I think they're beautiful. And I don't like to destroy their webs either. How disrespectful. That would be like somebody coming and destroying my piece of art and my home, which has happened to me, by the way, but that's a different story. Dances on foot. It's a balancing act. Now, this is a cool card, number 9. Now, this is cool because it is. Life is about a balancing act. It really is. It's about balancing your snarky self with your good self. It's about balancing, knowing there's light and there's dark and bringing it to a balance. Because we all have that darker side, you know, and that darker side doesn't mean evil, right, like people think. It just means a more heavier side, a more self-analytical side, a side that really we were taught to be, right? And it's hard to unteach that, so you got to keep practicing that. And so the balancing act is you finding that balance in your life on whatever works for you to do that. One more card. Paul the Venetian. Now, we have drawn him so many times. Experiencing grace. Oh, sorry. Let me see if I can do this. Share your gifts with grace, raise up inspiration, and love are coming to you. Now, that is true. Oftentimes I will feel that inspiration. I got it this morning to make a video, even though I wasn't feeling that great. I took my dog out, got to get ready for work, and I got this inspiration because I hadn't touched base with spirit. And for me, I have to touch base with spirit because I get unbalanced if I don't. I got to balance my life. So that's what I got for you today. I know this is short and sweet, but I just want to remind you, if you are in hermit mode or you just experienced it and you're self-reflecting or you're trying to figure out your life or figure out what's going to work for you, it's okay to pull away from spirit for a minute and not, you know, and not beat yourself up about it. I've done it a lot in my life. And I know when it's coming. I just paint. As you can see, I'm working on a painting now. I'm constantly creating, and I do it in other ways where I can just spend time alone. Like I was supposed to see my son yesterday, and he felt it too. And I said, you know, son, it's not going to happen today because Spirit said no, not to go out, and I'm going to listen to that. And he said, I felt it too. And so I've learned to always listen to my gut instinct, and it will fall through. It will follow through. Not fall through. And so, anything else, Spirit? Spirit says that some of us are going to feel heavy in the next couple of weeks, but then as long as we keep that cord connected with Spirit, we're going to pull through, because Spirit always pulls us through that golden cord. Visualize yourself when you're feeling a struggle, holding on to a golden cord attached to your spirit guide, you know, or to the universe or whatever, but attached to an energy that is going to pull you out of whatever you're feeling. Gold is very healing and powerful. And diamonds, visualize diamonds surrounding you. Do the protective shell exercise that I have taught you if you haven't. Learn the protective shell exercise. Leave a comment and I can make another video about it, or you can backtrack and try to find it in one of the videos. I can't remember which one it is. And what else, Spirit? And it's okay to do that, she's saying, and to be able to, oh, and I had this, I want to share this with you because I don't know if I have yet. Maybe I have. I got this white light oracle, and they're asking me to draw. It's a deck I got the other day, and I will look it up later and I will tell you the answer. What else was I going to say? There was something else. Spirit, help me out. My brain is foggy. Thank you, Spirit. Aliana is saying that the universe, that the earth here is going to be getting more and more violent, even though it's crazy here in America. I don't know about the rest of the world. It's crazy everywhere, honestly. And most places, not everywhere, but most places are, You know, in America we have a lot of problems. I don't think we have a real government, and nobody's really in charge, I don't think. I mean, and whoever's in charge is failing us, whoever it is, and we have to fix it, you know. So many people are hurting and just killing each other. It's like the old West here, you know. And Spirit says that a lot more people need to learn to meditate, and not be afraid of meditation, and not misinterpret what meditation is. If you watch Joe Dispenza here on YouTube, he gives a great explanation about meditation that you'll feel comfortable with. I personally call it visualization, where I take time to visualize and feel the great things I want to happen in my life. But I'm going to tell you this, even Joe Dispenza says it, you cannot fail when you meditate. There's no failure in meditation, right? As long as you're taking that time to sit with self, you're doing something. Trust me, you're activating the life force. It's when we really have to pull in, and people need to do that and self-reflect and realize how they're treating, including myself, because I'll make snarky comments on news stories and stuff that I think are funny. Like I said, I'm learning to not dim my light, but where to excuse me, use it more properly. Because I think some stuff is funny. You know, the stuff people worry about is so funny. Like, okay, I'm going to give you an example. I belong to what I thought were lesbian groups on Facebook, and they're not. They're just a lot of straight women on there bitching about their male partners, which I thought was interesting, or a lot of women bitching about their exes. It's just people complaining about their past relationships, being lonely, you know. Oh, I got in a fight with my boyfriend, so I'm gonna date women now, that type of thing. Whatever, who cares? Do what you gotta do. But I just thought it was a different format. You know, I just thought it was different, but it's not. They're all the same. And I make jokes about it, you know, like, you know, why are, you know, if you're with your ex, you shouldn't really, if you're thinking about your ex still, really, people, you really shouldn't be trying to go into a new relationship. If you're still having dinner with your ex and friends with your ex and all of that, I'm going to tell you what happens usually. And it's happened to me and many, 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 many people. I've done readings where women have come to me like, oh my God, you know, they got back together, or, you know, I thought I was being nice because they said they were friends, and I thought that was cool, and it wasn't cool, and they ended up sleeping together, and this and that happened. And you know what? They're exes for a reason. The past is the past. You gotta move on. If it didn't work in the past, it's not gonna work now. I've never seen it happen. And if they try to make it work, I know couples that the man cheats on the woman and the woman forgives him and all of that, but it's never the same. It's never the same. Either the man starts to get controlled and has to report everything, and he starts getting angry, or the woman is just secretly bitter about it, or the woman and woman, or the male and male, whatever the sex may be in the relationship, it just doesn't work, you know. People are not equipped for those things. It's a very rare case that it will work. I mean, I guess I should rephrase that and not say never. Thank you, Spirit. It does work in some cases, but 90% of the cases you're going to see that most people are not even ready for relationships because they haven't healed the past. And jumping from one relationship to another, and I know people who do that, you're just repeating the same thing. I did the same thing. I did it. And now I see all the time I wasted and all the things I did wrong, and I'm not going to do that again. And that's why it's important to keep growing and learning and admitting your mistakes and owning what you've done in your life, you know. And it's not easy to do, and that's why we're called spirit warriors, you know, because we fight for our life. We fight for our spirit, you know. And in order to do that, though, you have to be honest with yourself. And I haven't always been perfect, and I know a lot of you are having a hard time believing that. But I haven't. You know, my old self was so damaged from my childhood that I was on defense mode most of the time. That being said, so if you're feeling that, or you know, and a lot of the past is coming up or whatever, and you're like, why is the past like my dead ex came to see me last night, and I was like, oh God, you're haunting me even in death, But I'm trying to understand why he did what he did to my life, and working on forgiveness in his death, But I told him last night, I would prefer if you just left me alone and know that I wish you the best, I really do. And hopefully next time around you'll be a better person to women. That being said, and to yourself, really. So we have to forgive. And forgiveness, I heard this beautiful explanation of forgiveness, and I hope you resonate with it. Forgiveness is when the emotion of the trauma that the person did to you no longer creates an emotion of, it was something like triggers a emotion of hate or fear or a negative reaction, and when I think about what he did to me, I can talk about it. I was telling this story the other day to my friend Nancy, who was helping me build my bed, and I was telling her about the moment I saw death and what happened to me, and I did it without crying, but when I look back, when I heard the story itself, it's an unbelievable story, and it's quite shocking when you hear it, but it's what I've been through, and so I didn't cry or break down or get angry. I just said, man, that guy put me through hell, and just joked. I go, but he did turn me on to a lot of good music, showed me the Ozarks, that type of thing, took me to places I'd never seen. I always try to see the good in people because I know there is, but still, I just as soon not have that energy in my life, even in death. I think that I have the right to say that, and so do you. Just because you're ready to move on from someone doesn't mean you have to have them in your life in any way. Doesn't mean you have to break down and guilt trip yourself and blame yourself for everything. No, it just means the emotion that they gave you in that trauma, it no longer exists. That's forgiveness. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. And so I guess I forgave, because when you can laugh at a story that someone almost killed you, that means I think you've grown a bit, don't you? I mean, laughter to me has always been a huge part of my healing tools and always been a part of my life. I love to laugh. I watch a lot of comedy. I play jokes on people. If you're in my life, I'm going to be the class clown, so to speak. So that's what I got for you. If you're hermit mode, it's okay. This moon was pretty powerful, triggering a lot of the past. But if you're living in the past, you're never going to move forward. No matter what, you're not going to move forward in your work. You're not going to move forward in your love relationships, in your personal friendships. You're not going to, grow. And if you're leaving behind people and you're ready to move on from the past and you're done with all of that, you have to realize you're probably going to lose some friends, and that's okay. Because really, were they your friends? I look back, I was thinking yesterday, most of the people I cut off weren't even really my friends. They really weren't. They just liked to be around my energy, and they were like psychic vampires, and that was about it. But they didn't appreciate me for me. And those people are no longer in my life, even on social media. There was this one guy, my God, no matter what I posted on social media, he would come at me and attack me, and I just delete his comments and not say anything, right? Because I was like, you poor bastard, and I would just delete it. Finally, one day, I just had it with him, because he just reminded me of a little whiny bitch, and I don't like little whiny bitches. Man, especially grown-ass men who whine. That is just like, man up, who raised you? And this guy, doesn't work or do anything, he just uses his disability money to travel around, and that's fine, that's his life. I've never said anything, right? You want to judge me, but you're not looking at your own life. That being said, I finally just blocked him on social media and didn't say anything. I was like, you know what? I don't have to put up with your snarky, rude comments when I never met you a day in my life. I've never spent 2 minutes with you, a minute, a second. So you gotta go. And that's what I've been doing. Slowly just been clearing out my social media of people I don't know, or people who I'm just like, God, all you do is whine about your life. Why am I alone? Why am I this? Why am I that? I don't know. Fix it. I mean, I'm at that point, you know. I'm pretty blunt, you know. I don't like whiners. Like I said, I've had to survive a lot of shit. And I know we can survive a lot of shit. You just have to do it. So if you're going to sit there and whine, I don't have time for you, because you're not growing like I'm growing. I don't sit here and whine about my life. Like, it's just, it's a gift. It's here. You're alone because, honestly, I'm going to tell you that a lot of people who are out there whining on social media, why am I alone? Oh, what's wrong with me? People don't find that attractive. That's a straight up truth. So stop saying that. Work on yourself. Get that energy to love yourself, because you clearly don't love yourself. Because every day you're asking yourself negative things. Every day you're portraying yourself in a negative light. That's awful. You gotta change it, and you're the only one who can. See, I get worked up. I get worked up because it just frustrates me that people don't get it. You know, it's a hard, life is freaking hard. I've been alone for 5 freaking years. I don't even think about it. My son and I were talking about it the other day, and he goes, Mom, people like you and me just don't get lonely because we just don't get it. Like, there's so much we can do. I can do art. I can do yoga. There's places I can go. There's classes I can take if I get really lonely. Shows I can go to. Support local music. There's tons of shit you can do. If you're lonely, it's weird that we live in a world full of people, but so many people are lonely. Get out there. Don't be so afraid. Ask people out. Doesn't mean you have to get married. Doesn't mean you have to be lovers. I asked people that I thought liked art and stuff of the opposite sex to do art, go to art shows and stuff, and I think they think I'm asking them out on a date. I don't date the opposite sex anymore. You know, I'm done with that. Like, so I'm just looking for friends, you know, people who like the same interests. But this is the world we live in, is everyone assumes these things, and then everyone, you know, isolates, and they might not like me, or they want to have sex with me, or whatever. Don't feed your ego that much. If I want to have sex with you, I'll let you know, that type of thing. But that's the world we live in, and we have to change it by being the example, right? So if you come at me, when I have clients come at me, right, and I've done this so many times, and all they do is find every excuse not to achieve their life goals, every excuse, I actually cut the reading off and say, I'm not the reader for you. Until you fix A, B, and C, and then work on D, E, F, and G, we're not going to get anywhere, because you're not going to listen. I've had clients roll their eyes at me when I give them solutions to their problems. It's because they don't want to hear those solutions, and I just cut the reading off. I'm like, then I'm not the reader for you. And then they'll come back to me months later and realize what I was trying to do. You know? But I don't take excuses. I just never have. I've never made excuses for my life. I understand that people influenced my life, and especially my mother and my family, and I understand all of that. But I don't blame them. You know what I mean? My mother has her own issues from her own childhood. And as an adult, I'm mature enough to see that, and I can see that, just like my siblings have their own issues. I think two of them are dead, I believe. You know, I don't, you know, I know one is for sure. You know, we just didn't have the best life. And I know my little sister, yeah, thank you, Spirit. So yeah, 2 are dead. And it's but that's no excuse for me to be an asshole, to be... I guess that's where my sarcastic humor comes in. I use my sarcastic humor to kind of be snarky, you know. Keep it real, Faye. And that's how I get over things, I guess, is humor. To see the humor in it, you know. So ridiculous, some of the things that I've done and I've allowed people to do to me. It's ridiculous. And I see that now because I don't hide from the truth. And I know a lot of people have talked shit about me, and people I've known for years. And these are people who get so drunk they pass out at a bar, and the bartender will ask me to remove them. That happened to me. And this person talked so much shit about me. And I was like, honey, you gotta look at your own life. You get so fucked up. At your age, there's clearly a problem. And people will do that though. They see people growing, they see your light, and they'll want to dim it. They'll want to talk shit about you. They'll want to say, oh, she's this, she's that, she thinks she's better. No, and well, actually, sometimes I am a better person than some people. I am, so are you. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a good fucking person. There's nothing wrong with growing. I heard Jelly Roll. Now, some of you might not know Jelly Roll, but you soon will if you listen to music at all. He's getting really huge in the country music scene. He started off as a rapper. He was in, I think, jail 40 times. I don't know. He has a little documentary out on Hulu. Check it out. He's just been following this guy for years. Over, I think, 12 years I've been following this guy. And 10 years at least. And I fell in love with his rap music and his story. And as I've watched him grow into this amazing person, somebody wrote on his social media, man, you've changed. You're not the same dude anymore, you know, because he's gone into a bluesy country gospel type thing. And he's just amazing. And his feedback was like, of course I've changed, man. I hope I've changed. I don't want to be that same person. And if you don't change, then you're not, you know, that's the point of life, is to keep growing and changing. And he's really proud he's changing. And I think that he is an example of, you know, we can change. He came from nothing and created something by believing in himself, because he is all he had to believe in, you know. And I feel that a lot of people don't realize that yeah, you're gonna see people change, and that does, and people who aren't changing, who are still using drugs and alcohol, if you had, like in my scene, you know, or people who aren't their true authentic self out in public and all of that, and just, or cliquish people or whatever. This is what I see in my world. You're gonna see them come at you because you're rising up here. That light of yours is scaring the shit out of them. And that's okay. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Right? Shine bright like a diamond. One more card and we're going to go, because I got to get ready for work. Diana. Focused intention. Jelly Roll was talking about that too. Focused intention. Think about what you desire. Set your sights high. Expect the best possible outcome. Now here's where I've been slipping, because I've been on lower frequency for about 3 or 4 days because of my sore throat. Clearly it's clearing up, thank God. A little tender when I swallow, but no big deal. That being said, I haven't been focusing my intention, my energy into what I want. Excuse me. So today I'm going to do that. Back on track. So I've got some guests coming up. I've got, yeah, I'll tell you about my guests on my next episode. My head is going somewhere else. But I have to get going, get to work. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Remember, you're going through hermit mode. You're releasing the past. You are on the right track. Don't beat yourself up. Get out of that self-sabotage mode. Start refocusing your energy today on the things you want, on the things that you know will bring you good luck and bring you good life and bring you joy into your life. Remember, you have the power inside of your brain. Our brain is so amazing that you can change anything you want starting today. I just knocked over one of my paints. All right, love y'all. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day.